So, in less than an hour, the sun is going to be up, and I am literally just up, awake, with nobody to talk to. Like, my mom is about to go to work, and my wife is asleep, which is also part of why I'm being very quiet. Um, and I've just been thinking about the last couple years of my life, in particular, how I've been spending them. And usually, when I do this, I go back and I watch videos of both mine and no thank yous from the years 2018 and 2019, and then I just go further from there. If I had Discord logs from around those times, I'd look through those, but I don't have those anymore and haven't for a long time. I went back through everything and I was trying to picture to my best ability how I felt and the kinds of things that I was thinking at that time. Because for me, it was really interesting to be alive. Like, even though I faced so many emotional problems, I feel as though the kind of problems that I faced were a lot more, for lack of a better word, BPD-esque than the kind of problems that I face now. Because, like, I would experience some fluctuations in emotion in response to, like, social situations and stuff like that. But just in general, I was at a very, very steady medium. I had such a good outlook on life and feeling, in large part because of my videos. You know, you guys were giving me so much love and attention, and I really felt like I was making things that I wanted to see in the world, and that people appreciated me for what I was doing. And every new day was a new adventure because my brain was rapidly developing, and there were all these new experiences and concepts that had only then come into view, come into the frame for me, because prior to that, I lacked the mental capacity to really understand or know about a lot of this stuff. That was the amazing thing about being young, being younger than I am now, is that there was just all this shit out there that felt so novel and so interesting and so unique. It felt like the whole world was painted with such bright and beautiful colors. And a lot of the mental health problems that I would talk about in my videos, be it anhedonia during the few times when I experienced that, or uh, other mood related issues, were environmental in nature. So, like when I would face problems with my family, or when I would deal with particularly bad people at school or online and these sorts of things, I would struggle from it. I reacted in ways that I think were more intense than some other people, or I compartmentalized them differently, which would, lead to difficult outcomes. Um, in particular, I faced a lot of social strife because I did not feel able to be uh, in an environment where I would be encountering new people or the same people or really any people, right? There were different problems that I would face with either or. Um, and those were the kind of problems that I would talk about on my YouTube channel at the time. But I ended up dropping out of school at a pretty young age because of the social ailments that I had. You know, the fact that uh, other people made me feel really bad, the fact that I couldn't sleep consistently the way that other people could, which only exacerbated the problem, the fact that I would go to school and I didn't know how to communicate. All of this contributed to me leaving school. And I ended up finding myself waking up at 3, 4, 5 p.m. every day for the first time in my life when I was like 14 or 15. And I still remember how novel and beautiful and liberating that felt being at that age and waking up at those times a day and being awake all through the night. Now, this was primarily, or at least this is what I said to my parents, this was primarily because the internet uh, data that we had was better at nighttime. You know, we would get like 10 gigabytes in the daytime, and then we would get like 100 gigabytes at nighttime. So I'd be watching YouTube videos, downloading anime, watching anime, all that kind of shit at nighttime, and it was great because there was more bandwidth. Um, I told them that I was staying up all night for school, and so they respected and uh, allowed my schedule. But the actual reason that I was doing that was so I could watch YouTube videos all night and film and produce and upload. And that was kind of how I got my start, at least in a serious way, on YouTube. I was making videos prior to that, but it wasn't until I became nocturnal that I really started to go crazy with it, right? And that was a turning point in my life. That was like a major change. And it felt beautiful. It felt novel. It felt so distinct. Um, because, I mean, in a literal sense, it was, right? Like things had changed. Um, and I don't really get that feeling anymore about any one experience, right? Like nowadays, something will happen and it will feel familiar. It will feel similar to something that has already happened. Something will happen and it will be analogous to something that's already happened. And I'll go back to watching a lot of these videos and trying to put myself in that time as best as I possibly can, because I miss being in that time. I miss feeling the way that I did. But the truth is, you can't actually ever get that back. You can't get back that feeling that every day is this novel thing. Every new day is this beautiful and incredible thing because everything in your life is so new. Like that constant kind of neurogenesis is something you only really have when you're in your adolescence. Um, so I get to times of day like this when nobody is awake, and when like I'm just by myself looking through all these old videos, and like I'll start to think that, you know, maybe it would be preferable if my brain literally just wasn't working anymore. Like if my brain was slowly losing any functionality and I was just fading out of consciousness. Like that's the kind of thing I'll think about. I'll wish that I'm sundowning. And you know, it's that kind of feeling where like you wake up every day after spending all night trying to get to sleep, and you won't even feel like you slept that night. But you get up nonetheless, and you spend your time throughout the day trying to figure out, like, what the hell am I going to do? Why the hell am I doing any of this? What's the point of any of this? Aimlessly trying to distract yourself. And it only reinforces that sense that, like, maybe everything would be better if your brain didn't work. That's kind of how I feel.